I gotta first commend you, man. I gotta take off my glasses for this, man. I gotta commend you for this, man, because you're saying this is your last album, and if this is so, this is a mother swan song, bro. It's a fire album, front to back.
So you heard it?
I did. I did my homework, man. I did my homework. I gotta ask you a question, man.
Yeah.
On Dad Bod, I think you said like, you could tell me more about diapers than modern day rappers and ciphers. Tell me about your diaper technique, man. How does it work, man?
Well, there's two kinds of diapers. There's your standard diaper, and then there's the diaper that lets you know if there's pee in the diaper.
Okay.
But if you have a standard diaper, you have to just pat the front of it, and if it feels kind of thick, then you know that you got to change the diaper. And then you put them on the station, and then there's the wet wipes, and you handle it. But yeah, I mean, I've literally had shit all over me, so. Oh, cool. It's like really dope though. It's like, cause I step to the booth and I know exactly what to do. I step to my child and I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like,
you already know you're a diaper savant at this point, pretty much.
Yeah, probably not as good as his mom, but I'm pretty good.
Hey man, listen, that's dope, bro. And again, man, I want to congratulate you on fatherhood, man, the family. It's so dope, man. And I'm curious because I've been talking to a lot of MCs during this pandemic. Obviously, with you calling this album your last, how much did the pandemic, along with fatherhood, play into that role of you wanting to step back from rapping?
Well, I was already going to take this year off. So, like, what you have to understand with me is a year off is a year off or time away for me just means time like really not touring or traveling. That's what I perceive to be time off. Because I'm working on film and TV shows and cartoons and books and autobiographies and my artists and my labels and, you know, all these, my label and all this different stuff. So the pandemic really didn't have anything to do with me retiring. I think it made it a lot easier. You know, like my manager was like, yo, it's crazy that you decided to take this year off. Because last year, like a year and a half ago, or this time last year is when I was like, yo, after the tour, after all this, like I'm off, you know, because I'm going to have my baby and I want to be there for that. And so it just kind of worked out perfectly. I just wanted to retire because I'm just over it, man. Like, and not even in a negative way. I'm just over it. Like, I love music. I'm going to continue to like make music on my own. Right. I don't know what, I just can't not make music. It's a journal for me. It's how I express myself. It's how I heal. But, I mean, yeah, no, it's on some logic. Like I'm stepping away. And the thing is too, I'm not trying to make it this big show. Like, oh my God, because it's not that deep. You either believe me or you don't. And I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm over here doing my thing.
Bro, it's crazy because every time I saw you, man, you always had this passion for hip hop. Like for some guys, it's just a show, but you live, you eat, you breathe hip hop. And even just listening to Hit My Line, like the fans, man, it's one thing like for you to just say goodbye to the game, but the fans, you even said it, you addicted to the arenas, the fans. Talk to them about like this departure as far as, because you are a superhero for a lot of kids, man.
Well, that's very sweet of you to say. And I'll still do the best that I can, I guess, to be that, because I just see myself as a normal guy, you know what I mean? But the cool thing here is, if anything, it's going to connect me and my fans now more than ever, because I'm not like painstakingly in the studio, like every little thing has to be perfect, and all this other stuff, or thinking about the people who love it or won't like it or this or that, all this. Now I can just be on Twitch, stream with my fans, have conversations with my fans, play video games with my fans, make beats for my fans. You know, there's some people on Twitch and stuff that like to do giveaways. I want to make beats for up and coming rappers on the spot and give it to them for free. And if they take it, don't charge them and don't even take publishing and be like, here you go for free. Like, go take it. I want to connect with my fans in a way that I haven't been able to in a long time, because social media itself is so toxic. So by allowing me to now jump on Twitch, right, where you have to pay to be able to comment. It's not about the money. It's about the fact that if you really genuinely care, you will pay so that we can engage with each other. Taking out certain negative keywords, you know, so that you know, it's a safe space. I mean, to me now, where we are within the age of streaming, it's like a gift and a curse. It's amazing because Think about how many hip hop heads are going to listen to my album and then probably also listen to like whoever's dropping on Friday just because they can, because they pay $12.99 or whatever it is a month to be able to do so, regardless of, I mean, whatever their subscription based streaming service is. But for me, it's about like when people used to get on the bus and, you know, 2 buses and ride all the way to the store and wait in line and pick up a CD, like they actually cared to do that. So for me, that's how I feel regarding Twitch, because if you really care, you're not going to come there just to hate. You're going to pay so that we can talk to each other.
Shout out to Twitch, man. That's a nice deal you're able to make with them too, man. It's crazy because what you talking about, like social media, it could be a good place, it could be a toxic place. Yeah. And you have a song on the album called Dark Place.
Yeah.
I'm curious, man, like how were you able to get over certain aspects of your celebrity and out of that dark space? Because on the song you said, like, you caught yourself, I've done it before, you caught yourself Googling yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you do that, you see some bullshit.
Dark Place wasn't supposed to be on this album. It was a song that I wrote when this album was done, and I just wrote the song. And it was actually on another instrumental by another artist, but that I won't really get into. It was like on some mixtape shit, like True to Form Wayne type shit. And I wrote the song, and I just wrote it from my heart, and I wrote it in a way that I didn't really care because, you know, I talk about being rich but still battling anxiety and depression. I talk about my race, which has been a joke on the internet. I talk about all these things that I wanted to talk about to heal. And then I was like, but I'm not going to put this out. And then people heard it and were like, yo, this has to go on the album. And I'm like, no. And it's this whole thing and blah, blah, blah. And then, so I called my buddy Toro Imoa, and he like helped me reproduce out that. And it worked, man. But I don't know. I think it was just because I was in my head, like nobody's ever going to hear this ever in a million years is why it was so good. And then my team and my friends and people I respect and, you know, mentors, no ID, being like, this has to go on the album, dog. Like, this is too good not to put on the album. And yeah, and it's the first song I've ever made in my entire life where it's like a downer song, like sad song, and doesn't end like, but it'll be all right. It doesn't end that way. And I think that's why it's so perfect, because the last line is, it's okay to be sad sometimes and tired of shit. It's okay to feel that way. And I think that's another, like Kid Cudi, I would listen to his music and still do. And sometimes it isn't always like the momentous, everything's going to be okay. It's really like, I'm sad, I'm going through it. Here's a song. Like, you know?
Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy what you're saying, that, especially with the album being titled No Pressure. So when you have a dark space in there, you're kind of like, it's an interesting switch on the album. And with me saying that debut album Under Pressure, mind state, as a man, as an artist, can you compare those days being under pressure, trying to make it from the mixtape grind to now feeling no pressure as a rapper? Because you got the accolades.
I guess so. I think this is the only album I ever made where I realized I wasn't up and coming anymore. My whole career, I've felt up and coming. Every album, every mixtape, all the way to my previous album, even though that album was more, I was just kind of having fun, you know what I mean? But I always felt like I was up and coming. I always compared myself to everyone else and all this other, you know, deep inside I did. And with this album, I just wasn't. I wasn't on the internet. I didn't listen to any rap unless it was like classic shit. I listen to like Mac DeMarco and Toro Imoa, and, you know, I listen to a lot of indie music and classic 70s and soul and Al Green and shit like that, Marvin Gaye and stuff. Like, that's what I'm on. And that's what I was on more than ever with this album. I think with my first album, I was trying to do everything that I could to be relevant, be liked, have people care about me. And with this album, it's kind of like, I don't give a fuck if you like me or not. Like, this is what it is. And I must be at a place of success if you don't like me and you're still listening to this album. So I was like coming to the conclusion that people who love me will love me. People who don't won't. So just make this from my heart. But yo, it was painstaking, dog. Like, but in a good way, like every bar, like, you don't understand. Not even in my whole career have I been like, every bar has to be just crazy. Every beat, every line, everything. Like I went in, like
I
it
could
was.
tell.
Yeah, it
I
was
could
crazy.
tell.
Yeah.
Your pen, your focus was just on a whole different level. I was wondering if it's because the addition of No ID, him being heavily involved in this one, or this being your swan song, because the pen was different this time around.
I think it was a lot of things, you know. Yeah, it was like No ID, and me and Six in the studio making beats, and knowing that this was going to be my farewell, because I had this album that I wanted to do for a long time called Ultra 85, which I was kind of like teasing the fans with. And then I realized I don't want to do it. This is that. Like this album, No Pressure, is that album that all the fans have been waiting for and I've been trolling them for. It's this album. And just kind of minus the conclusion of Thomas and Kai, the characters that I created from The Incredible True Story. So it's really, it's very much so, this is it, man. I don't know how to explain it. I wrote for the first time in 15 years on pen and paper. I wasn't in my phone. I would like write a bar, 2 bars, 4 lines, stop, go do some shit, come back 2 days later, write another 2 lines. Sometimes I'd go 4 pages in a row and it would just flow. But yeah, on a lot of albums I've done, even my first albums and stuff, I would just write on my phone, do it really quick, wrap it, do it, package it. There it is. That's what it is. This I've never dived so deep into myself, into the art. And it's also like it's love and respect to hip hop. When you listen to the samples because now hip hop is, in its 40 plus years at a place where it's like hip hop itself can be sampled, and you have these on GP4 and Growing Pains 4 sampling, Elevators by Outkast. And like they had to sign off on that. So to know that I created something that they felt proud of letting me do, or the conversations I had with Erykah Badu, or like so many different people, and like it's like a love letter to rap. You know what I mean? Like this whole album is. I'm sorry, I know I'm talking a lot. This
No,
album,
you good.
It's really like I love you, hip hop, and I know you love me, and I've appreciated our time together, but I know what's more important. And like hip hop has been the most important thing in my life since I was a kid. So for me to say it's not anymore is a big deal. So I had to because my son and my family is my main focus, I had to give everything I possibly could to know I could proudly step away. And that's what I'm doing.
Wow. Man, that's real what she's saying that, because again, your mindset is elevated versus your first album, versus the previous albums we spoke before. And just hearing you do a Growing Pains 4, doing Soul Food too. Like, what was that like? Kind of re-jumping on that beat again, like 5 plus 6 plus. Like,
let me tell you this. First of all, dog, that beat is not the same beat. Here's why. The original beat was an interpolation, right? Or a replay originally of that sample, because we couldn't find the person who owned the sample. So I had to like replay it and do kind of like my own version of it. This version, if you play them back to back, you will hear this opera singer and all this stuff from back in like the 50s and 60s. I had to hunt down this dude. He's French, man. Maldon. I had to hunt him down. We had to get lawyers who spoke French and English to communicate. Bro, I had to pay a lot of money. I ain't making no money on this album, dog. The sample, bro, it's crazy. So, but yeah, with Soul Food too, man, it's something that I always wanted to do. So this version of Soul Food is like the version, because what you're getting is the original actual sample that we have and stuff. So the quality's so much better this time around. The writing, like, I mean, dude, just the amount of bars, and I'm so excited to do breakdowns. I'm gonna actually announce soon, so you kind of low key have an exclusive, that I'm gonna do a deconstruction of this final album on Twitch and go through every single song, every lyric, every meaning, everything, so you understand. Like I got a line where I say one of my favorites is like read a Nostradamus at 90 degrees. You better believe I know how to turn a profit with ease. So to break that down, what I'm talking about is how I can, monetarily make a profit. But Nostradamus was a prophet, who foresaw the future. So if I'm reading his books at 90 degrees, I'm easily turning a profit. Or diacritical lifestyle, I'm always overseas, is the following line. I had to look up what a diacritical character is. A diacritical character is a little squiggly line over certain accent letters, like in Spanish, you know what I mean? Like, or France, like, or French, like français, or this or that. There's that little line, and
The
that's
accent, yeah.
diacritical character. So it's like diacritical lifestyle. I'm always overseas, but I'm talking about being overseas and doing my thing, but I'm also talking about, so it's just like little tiny things like that that go the extra mile for me to open up an English book and understand at, 30 years old, what forms of grammar are, just so that I can create a punchline I've never done before. You know what I mean? I think
that's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I was going to say, like, proving that you're still a lyrical technician while weaving in stories is dope. Like, and you said something, it's just super simple, but to me, it kind of still hit hard. I forget which song was, but you said something to the effect like, you felt like hip hop taught you more than your mom even did. And when you say something like that, I'm wondering, because we know what hip hop taught you, but what would you say you maybe took from your family or from your mom that you keep with you as you're raising your family today?
I mean, honestly, it's all the things of what not to do. And that's not me trying to, like, talk about my mother or even my dad in a negative way, but it's just so true. Like, it was all the things they did that I was like, oh, okay, this is what you don't do, being on drugs and alcohol, or hitting your kids, or leaving them alone by themselves at 10 years old for a week and a half while you go hang out with your friends, or like things like that. Like, that's what I took. And even though it kind of sucks that it's negative stuff, I'm just happy that I had learned that at a young age and understood that and continued to carry that with me. So it's yeah, man, it's been a pretty gnarly journey. I love it.
It really has, man. And like, again, I want to go back to Hit My Line, because you mentioned the God references. You talking to God, you talking to God. What was the last conversation you had with God where, like, you just needed him in more ways than one? Or like, even if, what's your relationship with him today?
Well, yeah, okay. So I am not a religious man, but I do believe in a creator. I believe in something bigger than myself, and whether you want to call that atoms and particles that created this big bang, or whatever the case may be. I definitely don't think God's a fucking white dude with a beard sitting on a cloud, for sure. You know what I'm saying? But I respect others. I respect their religions. I don't know, I can't say what is and what isn't, and I just kind of am open-minded in that regard. But yeah, my relationship with God is a positive one, because I know that I am not this all-knowing, all-powerful being and this and that. Like, I am so minute in the grand scheme, and yet also so grand, because we're all connected. And like Neil deGrasse Tyson said, the atoms in my body are the same atoms from the stars that exploded to create our universe. Like, it's in many ways we're all connected. So, not to sound like super hippie or anything, man.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, last time I needed God, I mean, I remember having really big moments in my mind just before my son was born, wanting him to be healthy and his mom to be healthy. So I think that was a big one.
That's dope. That's dope. I gotta ask you this, man, because I feel like, and I'm glad you're in a positive place with it, as far as trying to grapple the social media, as far as trying to grapple criticism. If you look at the stats, and I know you hate the stats, but I'm gonna bring you the stats. Okay. You got number ones. We know what you've done. We know the 1-800 number. We know everybody went number one. We know your stats. But I have been in, like, talks with editors, different people in the industry, and they still feel conflicted on you as an MC as far as your contributions to hip hop. What would you say is your legacy in hip hop when it's all said and done, especially with this being your last?
Probably not giving two fucks about what those dumbass people have to say. And I would say, and the reason why I say that is because those are the people that made me feel bad about myself. Those are the people who made me want to kill myself at times, dog. Those are the people who made me depressed and told me I'm not good enough. I'll never be good enough. You don't belong, because I'm a white passing, corny, I like sci-fi and all this other shit, and my rap is good enough, and da-da-da, whatever the case may be. But that's who I am. I was just talking to my assistant about this. I would rather be perceived as corny or this or that or whatever the fucking case may be than peddling and actually being, quote unquote, authentic to the life I grew up in, selling drugs, cooking crack, shooting guns, being around motherfucker. Like, that's not what I represented. So those same fuckboys who say shit like that, they don't even know what they're talking about when you have people like the RZA singing my praise and Killer Mike. And
You got
like
Wu-Tang on the track.
so, but that's what I'm saying is I sit back and I go, those are the people who, like, anybody who could try to say what they're saying, it just doesn't make any, it's literally doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I got number ones, I got this, I got whatever the case may be, but I also have sold out arenas. I also have, you know, have made an impact in this culture. You know, to be able to have a queen like Erykah Badu on speed dial and she shows me love is like, I can't fucking believe that. I can't fathom that. Like, she's just the epitome of music and soul and hip hop.
She don't do that for everybody.
That's what I'm saying, man. When you got people like that, like real spitters and real MCs, like showing you love, it don't matter what some writer or fucking editor says, because that writer editor wishes they could fucking rap. You know what I mean? So, but I understand that and I know that. So that's why I just shut the fuck up and I don't care. But I mean, if you bring it up, I'm gonna answer your question. You know what I mean?
No, I had to, because I legit had this conversation with them this week, and I was like, about your lyrical skill, you being a technician, and of course they try to come back and be like, yo, but what has he done? So that's why I had to bring it to your forefront, because you're my guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I want to do this on a positive note, man. I feel like with you being such a wordsmith, you going hard with the Pen This album, what would you say was your favorite 16 that just encapsulates where you are right now in your life?
Probably the last verse on Heard Him Say. I don't even remember the whole thing, but I've been battling with my demons. I'm cowardice when I see them. I'm powerless. I can't beat them. But deep down, I feel like I need them. Power is freedom. You can feed them, but can't lead them. Smiling on my face, but I'm dying under the surface. What is my purpose? I'm feeling worthless. Tell me what worth is. My flaws, I happily greet them. Insecurities, some shit, something. I defeat enemies. I defeat them. I know somebody gonna relate to this. If keeping it real is a sin, you better pray for this, because I wanted this shit all my life till I finally got it and realized there's so much more to life. Shout out to those fucking editors, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And realize there's so much more to life. I used to dream I become the fucking man I am, stacking money and reading my son Sam I am. Love life, can't tell you how much a fan I am. This is grown folk music, if you did not know. 30-something, I ain't rapping about no dumb shit, ho. Bobby boy, he ain't no kid no more. Now if you feeling how I'm feeling, let a motherfucker know. To me, that is just, it just defines where I am, where I've come from, and not allowing that critique and those things of people telling me I'm not good enough to weigh on me anymore, because I've always been good enough. I'm a guy who likes to rap. I do it well. If I'm not your personal preference, that's fine. But to like ignorantly, you know, talk shit, I put all that out of my head, and I'm always keeping it what it's always been: peace, love, and positivity. And if you say that hasn't been an impact on hip hop, cool. I know what I've done, and I'm so happy to have my fans and have my paradise, my bubble that I've created. And that's all that matters.
I appreciate that 100%. Actually, I got one more before I let you go.
Yeah.
Listen, I hope I didn't perturb you with that editor shit, because I know.
No. It's a great. I'm glad you brought it up, because it's like something I've let go. It's yeah. My response to that is the confidence I've never had.
So when it comes, you just brush it off versus having to wrestle.
I used to take that and I'd be like, well, you know, if only they would just listen, and if they could really understand that. And I'm just like, man, it don't matter, you know.
And I love that newfound confidence you got. I wanted to talk to you about this, man. At the end of the day, people gonna say what they want to say. You're a black man. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And you have a kid now, and I'm curious, because I know you had struggles with identity coming up with being biracial. How do you prepare to raise your son as far as not having to deal with those same issues you had growing up?
I never had those issues until I got to rap, first and foremost. Anybody that I had ever met in my entire life respected me as a black and white man. There was never an issue, because it ain't that deep. It's just not. It's like, that's your boy. And race in general, it's like, it's not in personal circles. It's not that deep. Like, you got white, you got Hispanic friends, you got brown friends, you got Asian friends. We all just are people. You know what I mean? And sure, in high school, you know, people might make jokes like, "Oh, white boy this," or da 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 da. But then when they actually know who you are, they're like, oh, I mean, well, he's not white. He looks white, so we'll make fun of him for that. But like, you know what I mean? Besides that, it's like a respect thing. Hip hop was the place that was hip hop was the most beautiful thing to me. And then it became the thing that actually made me the most depressed and the most sad because of all the negativity that is kind of on the surface of mainstream hip hop. The actual hip hop itself is extremely beautiful, kind of the side that isn't necessarily seen on television and on the radio, the true culture. Hip hop is a culture of acceptance, of unity, of cipher, of bringing everyone in the cipher, regardless of your color, creed, sexual orientation. We're all just rapping. We're doing our things. And when we're in that cipher, we are one and we are infinite. So when it comes to race and my child, he's going to know all about his heritage. His little 25% black ass is going to know all about where he comes from and his ancestors. And he's going to know, I mean, all his uncles, you know, full of, and aunts are full of color, and his family is full of color, and he's going to know that, and he's going to respect it. And that's it. You know what I mean? So I think I'm excited to just teach him all about life and human beings first and foremost. And it's going to be a really great ride.
Listen, I'm Brother Bob. I'm gonna call you Brother Bob, man. I gotta thank you, man, for your time. You even extending this interview, because if this is our last, man, I would want it to go on a super high note. And I want to again thank you for everything you've done to the culture. I know I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I know I appreciate your MCing this album. I'm gonna probably, when I get off the phone, I'm gonna go play that Sway in the Morning freestyle when you got on the format, the AZ joint. So yeah.
Thanks,
I appreciate everything you've done, man, and I'm happy you're happy.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. It's cool, and yeah, of course, I had to extend this one specifically, just like, yeah, I mean, that first interview we did was super cool and all, but this is just this is deeper, you know what I mean? And I appreciate you, and I thank you for being kind and keeping it 100 and asking real questions and bringing real shit up. But at the same time, like, journalism is dead, man. There's a lot of motherfuckers who it's just like, it's almost like a YouTube review nowadays, you know?
Yeah.
But we have brothers like yourself that really take the time and they care. Like, that's a big deal. I see a lot of different artists that I love and respect get shit on because you have writers who don't even like them writing and reviewing their album. It's like, why would you even pick that person to do? So I appreciate that, you know, they did send a brother that is open-minded and enjoys the music. So thank you very much. I hope you continue to enjoy the album. I just want to thank you for just rocking with me, being with me, and I'm sure we'll see each other and speak in the future. Thank you.
Brother Bob, man. Peace, love, and positivity, man. Thank you.